Good morning. We had completed till verse 7 from chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita. Just a recap of what we had done till last week. So, in between these two yogas which we discussed, the yoga of knowledge and the yoga of action, Arjuna had asked, you should not confuse me but tell me one yoga which is good enough for me. Now Shri Krishna has told him that yoga of knowledge also involves yoga of action. Because a yogi cannot sit in one place and not do anything. Action is a must. So, the answer which Sri Krishna had given to Arjuna was that come whatever may, your organs of action are going to respond. They are going to act out on their own because the nature has driven them to do the action. And because nature has willed this, you are supposed to do the action. But a yogi's job is to control these actions, control the flow of information to the mind. The mind is a central organ where everything is brought together and it is very judgmental. So no judgment should happen. The reaction should be from the organ itself, not from the mind. The moment the mind is involved, then there is going to be a problem. Then karma is involved. So this is where we had stopped. So today we are going to do chapter 3 verse 8. Therefore, do you perform your allotted duty, for action is superior to inaction. Desisting from action, you cannot even maintain your body. So Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna that come whatever may, you have to perform the action. Now if there is something to be done, you cannot shy away from that action. Understand this. What action is he talking about? Suppose there is an object outside in the range of your vision. Your eyes are definitely going to see that object. Suppose there is a snake passing by, or a tiger, a lion, or something like that. Naturally, your eyes are trained enough to see that object. Got it? Now, this is something which is called action with this organ of vision. Now, the moment this action is translated to the mind, the mind makes a judgment. The judgment is, this is a dangerous animal, or this is a dangerous reptile. Please move away from it. So it sends a signal to the organs of action, and then you start running away from this whatever danger that is there. So this is called action. What is inaction? Let us take the same circumstances. You are going on your path and suddenly a snake crosses you, or another animal which is a dangerous animal, a predator, it crosses you. Immediately you freeze. You freeze and you don't do anything. Your mind has gone in a frozen state because fear has entered your mind. When fear enters your mind, either you run or you freeze. This inaction can be a cause of some problem to you. So now if you look at both these things, this is action and this is inaction. Now the same thing we will see from a spiritual perspective, because all the material worldly perspective is this first one which I told you. Now we will tackle the spiritual perspective. When an individual who is an enlightened person sees a snake crossing the path or a tiger or a lion roaming in front of him, what does this spiritually perfect person do? One, there is no reaction in his mind. He watches the reptile pass its path. Just go away. He sees this lion or the tiger over there. What is the action that he does? The action is he continues on his journey, or he stops over there waiting for the reptile to pass. Or he stops in his path, the tiger or the lion which is there in front of him goes away seeing him, not afraid. Because fear comes when the mind comes into play. He is a spiritual person, so no fear has entered his mind. He has not made judgments on anything. He knows that the reptile's nature is to cross the path. It is just slithering away. Or the tiger or the lion's nature is to just look at objects when it is not hungry. Remember, when it is hungry, it will pounce on you because it is waiting for an opportunity. Whereas, if you see just a lion and a tiger roaming around, they are not doing anything. They must be satiated. And if you show fear in them, fear to them, they will definitely come. It is the same thing with dogs also. There are pet dogs. If you show fear to them, they will come near you. They may bite you also. But if you don't show any fear, nothing happens. The dog will not do anything to you. No harm will happen to you. So this is action and inaction on the part of the yogi. What is the inaction? His mind has not reacted. No fear. This is inaction. So he is working in the action as well as inaction. Either he may cross the path or he may just wait for the animal to go away. But there is no fear. So there is no reaction. There is no inaction or action coming from him. But the action happens. Did you understand this? He is walking along the path. That is the action. So there is a difference between a material worldly person and a spiritual person, the way they look at the same thing. Therefore, do you perform your allotted duty? What is the duty of that person? Is to just walk away. For action is superior to inaction. Desisting from action, you cannot even maintain your body. So action is going to happen. The eye is going to see. The ear is going to hear. There is no need for you to make judgments on things. Now the same thing I will give you when people talk about you or when you see somebody acting nasty with you. In the material world, when somebody is speaking ill about you or somebody is being nasty with you, what is the reaction that happens within you? You are seeing it, you are hearing it, and then your mind is thinking about it. An immediate reaction is either you give him bad words or you say something bad to that person, or with your mouth or with your action, you may either slap the person or some kind of action happens because your mind has reacted. This reaction is the cause of karma in this world. This is how the material worldly people are. So in one sense, they may slap the person, they may beat the person up, they may say something bad to the person or do some action which is a karmic loop. Second angle, which is inaction. Inaction is when a person hears the thing but may not perform any physical action, but in the mind there is an upheaval. The person only thinks, I wish I can smash this person up, I wish I can beat this person up. This is what the mind is talking. Someday I will get to that position and I will show that person. I mean, isn't that what the mind does? The mind wants to take revenge. The mind wants to react to it. But, that's it. Okay? You are just revving. You are not going forward. Just revving. Like that. That's it. That is not something which is required. What is Sri Krishna saying? Just perform the action and get out with it. Get on with it. Don't react. Don't say bad words. Don't do anything. Walk away from the place. The easiest thing to do, the best thing for you to do, you don't have to hear what the person is saying. You don't even have to go near that person. Shut your mind down and walk away from the place. But people don't do that. So I hope you understood this verse. It says, therefore do you perform your allotted duty, for action is superior to inaction. Desisting from action, you cannot even maintain your body. Now we are doing chapter 3, Bhagavad Gita, verse 9. Man is bound by his own action except when it is performed for the sake of sacrifice. Therefore, Arjuna, do you efficiently perform your duty free from attachment for the sake of sacrifice alone. Here, a very important word has been introduced, and that word is called sacrifice. Now, what is the meaning of the word sacrifice? In the normal parlance, the word basically means you are offering something which is like a sacrifice. Got it? Suppose there is a person who doesn't have money and I offer money to that person, it becomes a kind of a sacrifice. When I don't have anything, I go to a temple and I offer maybe a kilo of sweets, that is called a sacrifice. When me and my brother are there and I have got a bigger quantity of food and he has got a lesser quantity of food, I can give some of my food to that person. That is also called a sacrifice. Parents also do sacrifice when they literally sell off their properties or do something and give that money to their child for further education. That is also called as a sacrifice. So sacrifice can be of any kind. A wife and a husband also is involved, where the husband has to go to work. So the wife may take herself, she will perform the action so that he can go to work peacefully, and then she will tackle whatever that is there in this. So it's a kind of a sacrifice. So understand the word sacrifice in the material world. Sacrifice in the spiritual world is slightly different. So we will tackle this word from a different point of view. So he says, man is bound by his own action except when it is performed for the sake of sacrifice. Every action that you do which involves your mind is a deliberate action. Did you understand? Every action that you do involving your mind is a deliberate action. You may even think for a moment with your mind. There is a beggar and you think, oh, he looks poor, I should give him some money. That action, your mind has thought about it, has made judgments on the person. He is poor. look at his clothes. He doesn't seem like having food. So when you perform this action leads you to something which is called karma. A deliberate action. So man is bound by his own action. This action which involves karma, there is a repayment which is coming with it. So if I give some money to someone and then I say I have given money to that person, or you think and you give, that is a deliberate action which involves your mind. It performs a karma. Every karma has a repayment. So it goes in the form of new karma. Got it? It is a new karma which is called agami or kriyaman karma. So this karma goes into storage. This storage is accumulated karma. So whatever action that I do just now will get into the accumulated karma. Got it? So please always remember, if you do actions which are deliberate actions using your mind, thinking about them, performing actions and then thinking about them, so it can be any. Before you perform the action, you are thinking about it. While doing the action, you are thinking about it. After the action is over, you are still thinking about it. How these three things happen? Let us say you have lent money to someone or given money to someone. That person has come and asked you for, say, 100 rupees. Now, what happens when he asks you for 100 rupees? Immediately the person says, this person is asking me for the money, doesn't deserve to be given. But okay, because he might be in need, so I will give him 100 rupees. And the person gives. You know, in my world, I deliberately do this. When I want people to show their real colors, I show them, please donate to our charity. The moment you say these words and say, okay, this person has donated so much, that person has donated so much, the immediate reaction is, oh my God, this person is asking me for money. The mind starts thinking. And then the person disappears from the scene. There were few people who used to join my satsang very regularly, not these times, the previous ones and the previous ones. Today these people have disappeared because we made it a point of saying, please donate to our charity. And the moment you say this, why should I give? I don't want to give. I have too many other expenses. This is called karmic loop. So they have created a loop. I am not going to explain what happens on the other side. Please don't get into it right now. When we are doing the chapter on karma, I will give you the full explanation. So just now there is no need to ask. But remember, this is an action which happens. So if you want to find out who your true friends are, ask them for money. They will disappear from the scene. They are not true friends. They will give you whatever reasons. I am building a new house. I have got money to give for my, I have to put my mother in the hospital. I have these problems. I have that. For giving 100 rupees, you have a problem. I have not specified the amount. I just said you can give some donation to charity. It can be 1,000 rupees. It can be 100 rupees. It just is something that can be done. So this is what is called. So every action is a deliberate action before it is done. While you are doing, there is another action which happens. I am giving this person money, I am not even sure when he is going to give me back. So this is another thing that happens. And after you have given, you have remorse. I should not have given to this person. All these three actions are part of karma. They lead you to a karmic loop, and this loop means you have to be repaid. So in this verse, Shri Krishna is saying, man is bound by his own action except when it is performed for the sake of sacrifice. When you do the sacrifice, never ask anything. Did you understand? Don't demand for anything. Sacrifice is an action without karma. Do it as if it is your heart's nature to do that action. You feel that you have to do it. I'll give you this, how this sacrifice happens. When the child cries, the mother immediately gets her from a place and goes and feeds the child. Does she say, I want something in return? No. She's not expecting the child to return back something. So there is a no return karma. But if she says tomorrow, when the child has grown up, I have fed you with my own hands. I have sacrificed my entire life for you. Did I not tell you that there are three kinds of action? The third one is later on, after the action has been performed. So the woman never said anything when she was feeding the child and during the time she was feeding the child, but later on she brings up the subject and points it out to the son or the daughter. I brought you up, I gave you my milk, you are responsible for this, you should now take care of me, you should pay me for this. Now she has created a loop in the system which is called karma. So any parent or any person who may say it even after many years, I gave you so much money when you needed it. People say this. You see, many years ago, I have given you money. At that time, I gave you with my very good heart, And you have become a person who doesn't even care for me. Really? This has performed what is called as a karmic action. Your mind has come into the picture, has remembered that you have given, and this is a very, very, very difficult loop you have got yourself into. And please remember, this is a karma which gets paid over lifetimes, not just one lifetime. Every lifetime you will have to keep on repaying because it doesn't get over. So, sacrifice means you don't have to expect anything in return. Whatever is done is done. It is a sacrifice. You have given it away and no expectations whatsoever. So no mind comes into play. Action performed without any mind in play. Sake of doing it. It's a duty performed for the sake of doing the action. That's it. This is called sacrifice. So when you go to a temple, don't go with a list of demands. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. People stand in front of Krishna, people stand in front of Balaji, people stand in front of Sri Ram and everybody and they say, oh, I have given you so much. I have put one very big garland for you. Because I put this garland, I want my money back, okay? So you have to give me a marriage, a child, this, that. Oh my goodness, they have gone and asked. So it is not a sacrifice. It's a return on investment. You have invested in Sri Ram. What is that? So, I have made a gold crown for you. You see, I have earned so much and I have made a gold crown. I have made a gold crown for you, so you got to pay me back. Well, that is not a sacrifice at all. So Sri Krishna says, only when you do sacrifice. Okay? So your duty has to be free from attachment. So no attachment of any sort. I did it, I did it, I did it, I did it. How many people in my own life have come and told me right on my face, I did it for you. Really? I said, I always join my hands and say, thank you very much for doing it for me. This becomes a karmic loop for which you have to be reborn again and again and again. This is a very difficult subject for people to grasp. So it should be always perform sacrifice free from attachment. Don't get attached to that action that you do. Don't say I did, I did, I did. No, never do that. Got it? So we are doing chapter 3 Bhagavad Gita verse 10. Having created mankind along with the yajna, at the beginning of creation, the creator Brahma said to them, you shall prosper by this. May this yield the enjoyment you seek. So Sri Krishna is saying how this world was created by Brahmaji. Brahmaji was only contemplating. If you ever look at Brahmaji is called the creator. The creator is always sitting in a lotus posture, on a lotus. He is only contemplating. He is just thinking. His job is thinking. Remember, he is the one who in the three gunatmak, the three gunas that is there, Brahmaji represents Rajas. Rajas is I did it, I made it. So this I did it and I made it is the Rajasic in nature. So Brahmaji is the one who performs these kind of actions, but he does it in the way of what is called as sacrifice. Now what is the sacrifice which Brahmaji does? Though he represents Rajas, the sacrifice which he does is very unique. He has been given instructions by Mahavishnu and Narayana. Go and create this world. Brahmaji's actions are not directed towards his self-expression. He is only doing what his master has told him to do. So his father in heaven has just told him, create this world as a sacrifice. Got it? Though Brahmaji is Rajasic in nature, but he has to create this world as a sacrifice. I am sure you remember what I told you in the previous verse. A sacrifice is a duty. A sacrifice is a duty which is performed without attachment. Which means you perform your duty because it has to be done. A mother feeding the child is a duty of the mother. She has to do the action. But if she says tomorrow, I fed you and I brought you up, that becomes karma. Then it is not a sacrifice anymore. The utterance of the words destroys the sacrifice. So never ever say these words. I went to Tirupati Balaji and I gave 50,000 rupees over there. Really? Balaji will remember that. Chitragupt writes it down in your name. It's a karma. So this is the reason why a sacrifice is that which is a duty which you have to perform without any attachment, and it has to be done for the sake of doing the duty. This thing you should remember always, because sacrifice is very, very critical in our world. We should not be thinking that I did sacrifice. No, I did sacrifice. Then it is not a sacrifice. It's a duty. You have to do it. No choices about it. So Brahmaji just creates this world one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, just keeps on making it and makes it only as a sacrifice. He may not even remember that he has created it. Do you understand this? Because he is not attached to anything over there. So this is the reason why he says, go ahead. He tells his creation, go ahead, prosper. Prosper means you have to keep on trudging ahead, going slowly ahead. So if a seed is been given birth, Brahmaji says to the seed, go and prosper. So from the seed will come a fruit. From the fruit will come a seed. From that seed will come a fruit. Did you understand? That is called prosperity, going ahead in line. So Brahmaji's job, because he's been instructed by his superior, that is Narayana himself, go and produce. So he just produces but never thinks about it, and he says to this creature that is produced, go and prosper. So just go ahead. Alright? So we will stop over here at verse 10.